Good morning, folks. Hope you're awake because we've got important updates and a special video release coming in about 12 hours. Let's start, however, as always, with the sun. Coming to spaceweathernews.com, we find the last day on our star relatively quiet again, small pops and surface surges, and a big dark coronal hole. We'll come back to that. Solar flaring remains low as the large sunspot turns out of view. Couple tiny umbras on the disk, but over at the eastern limb we see another sunspot incoming soon. Also incoming, up on the northeastern limb, we see a sizable plasma filament snaking across into Earth-facing positions for later this week. Solar wind is calm and within normal range. Earth's magnetic shield finally recovering after days of instability. After the M6 flare we had the morning of April 18th, Cyclone Fantala surged to become the most powerful Indian Ocean cyclone on record. Winston and Patricia set similar records in the Southwest and East Pacific last February and October, also on the heels of solar energy induction. We also got twin systems once again north of New Zealand, the purple lows, the Earth spots, twice in just a couple weeks. The CME that was produced from that flare should couple with Earth for quakes today when it reaches 1 AU from the Sun. We'll add that to the Earth-facing coronal hole system for a large expected seismic event, but there's a bit of good news. Hopefully we have released enough pressure to avoid it. Ecuador is still aftershocking, and we've had 2 volcanic eruptions in the last 3 days, Mexico and Guatemala. Next few hours will tell the tale. Let's go to the top news. 800,000 gallons of radioactive waste have leaked at Hanford. As always, officials say environment and public is not at risk, but one of their own employees said that when you hear we don't have problems here, we're doing just fine, it's a total lie. Next up, PLUTO. 4 new papers have come out from New Horizons, and they've delivered dozens of amazing images and analyses from their trip to the outer reaches of our system. From the geological features, which include dendritic ridges, to haze layers in the atmosphere, many wonderful discoveries await your eyes in those publications. Up next, looks like we finally have some solar physicists trying to predict the next solar cycle. Sort of. They claim that uncertainty ranges put the next 11 years anywhere between quite strong and much weaker than even the current moderate cycle, but their top expectation is another moderate one, like this one, but with more flaring associated with the moderate sunspot numbers, so higher activity. Not a happy prediction for space weather vulnerability. Then we have this coming out of Japan. Force water directly at each other in a cross junction and leave outflows perpendicularly, and the water will form a liquid vortex. Now that's cool, but what these physicists couldn't possibly know is that this is actually a full barred spiral, just like we see in geological formations and deep space energy. But folks, the top announcement today, around dinner time in the eastern US, I'll be releasing a full accounting of the #1 risk to Earth. It combines information from multiple presentations at Observing the Frontier, and you are not going to want to miss it. Some of these photos coming out from Texas are hard to look at, aren't they? As we do weather, we'll see tonight's US precipitation expectations, same for southern Europe, and since we saw the cyclones north of New Zealand already, we'll check out a flood risk to southeast coastlines of South America. We'll then finish with shots of our star to close. Again, do not miss tonight's upload, folks. Simple explanation of a complex catastrophe. It's 4 a.m. in the new Valley of the Sun. Eyes open, no fear. Be safe, everyone.